start our lesson. So your home task was connected with our previous theme, and it was to prepare a specific presentation. You decided to send it to me, and I have already checked all your presentation. I hope that you saw my comments, yes, and results. First of all, I wanted to say that they are great. You tried to do your best, of course, but also we had a specific task, yes, to our dear Bihnu. She asked me to prepare individual presentation, and the theme is specific for you. That's why we will be able to hear. So Bihnush, please come here, and now we will listen your whole task. So be attentive, please.
So our presentation topic for today is education of past. First of all, I want to give you some information about education of past time. So in the past, education was very different from that we have nowadays. Not everyone had to have such opportunity to go to school. Only children from wealthy families had such kind of opportunity in order to get education. Learning was also much more difficult than it's now. There were no modern textbooks, interactive lessons, or technology to help students. Instead, they had to memorize large amounts of information and write using chalk on the slate boards. And teachers were often very strict, and they had punishments for their mistakes. Lessons focused on discipline and repetition rather than creativity and problem solving. So let's look through centuries about education. So the first thing that I want to mention is that in the past, education was not for everyone, as I said before. Only children from wealthy families had such opportunity to get some education. And secondly, studying was much harder than today. That means, education was so hard.
Yeah.
When we compare like our century and let's say ancient Greece, they had much more problems with getting education. So let's see how people learn in different times. In ancient Greece, only boys studied philosophy and sports. And I want to mention that at that time, girls was not allowed to get education. They had to stay at home and learn how to do their house chores. And in ancient Rome, rich children had private teachers, and that makes them like unique in that time, made them unique in that time. So when it comes to middle age, school were in charge, and the children focused on religion rather than getting some education about science or philosophy. So let's turn to another. So now let's talk about schools in the 19th century. Discipline was very strict, punishments were common, and boys and girls studied separately. Here we can notice that the girls started have opportunity to get some education, but they studied separately with boys. So main subjects were reading, writing, math, and religion. Books were rare. Students memorized lessons, and that's make the whole process much more harder than we have today.
Yeah.
So when it comes to 20th century, Public schools become available for everyone, and students used chalkboards, notebooks, and pens, and that made this process of getting education much more easier. So new subjects appeared science and foreign languages, such as French, like English, and other languages. So now we can compare education of past and education of today. When it comes to exams, in the past only so education was only for rich like families, and today everyone can get education.
Yeah, that's all.
So when it comes to teaching, punishment and memorization was like how to say played a key role in studying of education in the past. When it comes to education of today, key role is played by creativity and technology.
Yeah.
As we can see now.
Yes, and we can see now, yes, by using our blackboards, smartphones, etc.
So when it comes to materials, in the past they used to chalk and wooden boards. And when it comes to today's education, we use computers, internet, and we can like find any kind of information in 1 second. So when it comes to facts about education in the past, as I said before, in some schools, students wrote on wooden tables. Many girls did not go to school in the past, and teachers used trick to punish students in order to like motivate them.
Motivate by stick, yeah?
That was their like own route. So in conclusion, I want to say that nowadays we have such great opportunity in order to get study. We can find any information that we want to find on internet or just by using e-libraries. And I think that we should appreciate all that we have now. Yeah. And that's actually all about.
I think it was great. I wanted to give some comments according to your speech. First of all, yes, of course, please take your place. So it was really great that you tried not only to analyze materials from the internet, yes, but give it in such form, in form of tables, different interesting, funny facts, and somehow you try to give your own attitude, yes, or your own opinion to this. So it was great. So now we will turn to our topic. So you know that usually we use different kinds of materials, methods, etc. So now please look at the blackboard. Here you can see rules for life. Rules for life is our new theme for today. And what I want you to do, this task is connected with all your knowledge about the material itself. So just imagine that we are somewhere in the forest, yeah? And you need to put inside of it, instead of mushrooms, berries, your own knowledge. So what do you think? What is rules for life? You can write on your stickers. Yes, we distributed it already. So you can write here everything that you associate our thing with. So it may be verbs, pronouns, nouns, adjectives, even maybe situation or example. So please start, and then one by one you will go to the blackboard and try to fill our basket of ideas with all your ideas. And we will understand what are your real understanding of this thing. So please write on your stickers. Yeah, please let's share this here. So I think you're ready, yes? One by one, according to which you can can come, read your words or say your words and then put it.
So complements the importance of home.
Yeah, you're right. Other place? Yeah, please come. Don't worry.
Rules for life improvement and success.
Next one, nice one, please.
Motivation and affection. To prioritize value.
Yes, to value.
Execute in favor order of importance.
Order of importance.
Well-being and happiness.
Yes, happiness, why not? Try to do our life happy, yeah? Right.
Significant and essential.
So, Nigina, is yours.
Prioritizing well-being fundamental.
So we have a lot of participants, yes, and everyone wants to share, yes, their ideas. So we have
Units and combat.
yeah, right.
So primary and secondary school. Development personal growth.
Personal growth, yeah. So don't forget, yes, about self-development, somehow to be better, yeah?
Self-improvement and growth.
Thank you, Jasmine, for your ideas. Just, yeah. So, yeah.
Morality,
Morality, yes, value.
Character and integrity.
Yes, integrity. So we live in what? In the time of globalization. Yes, that's why integrity is very important.
and evidence.
Open is order.
Philosophy of life and lifestyle.
Yes, philosophy of life.
To add and to be.
And then we go, yeah?
Mindfulness, self-awareness.
Thank you all, gentlemen, dear ladies. So now we can see that our basket of ideas is full of your own understanding. We can, of course, classify these words into different categories, but mostly they are connected with what? Positive attitude, yeah? Self-improvement. It's really great that your rules for life are connected with this. And now I wanted to show you that some information in your handouts. I gave you handouts. Please look at them. Handout 1. Now we will see that in a full way. So it's connected with the new lexis itself and how we will understand it. So please look here. So first of all, permanent decision is a specific decision that is intended to be lasting indefinitely. So it means somehow opposite to what? To temporary feelings. What we understand by temporary feelings? It's different emotions, yes, that arise quickly and also fade quickly. So it means they are like somehow in antonym, yeah, way. So mourning, this word has several meanings. But in our lesson and during all our exercise, we will concentrate on the figurative meaning, which means complaining, yeah, about something. And the next one, backwards. When we have some order, yes, sequence of order, different numbers, we should understand that the opposite of it, unusual one, will be backward. So now let's take some rules of my life. Yes, you just gave me ideas for your own understanding. For me, rules for life, first of all, is smile. If you smile to somebody, you give him or her what? Positive attitude, yeah, to his or her personality. Also, be kind. If you want people be kind with you, you should also be kind with them. Don't give up. We have different situations. Maybe during your life you will make a lot of mistakes. Of course, it will happen. We are all people and we can make them. But you shouldn't avoid them. And you should understand and try to think why it happened with you and search for some experience. And after it, please don't give up. Say, I will not do this. You should continue, yeah? Be the best person, etc. Don't compare. Please, sometimes it appears that somebody compares you with somebody else. For example, you cannot compare yourself with Elon Musk or somebody like this, yeah? You are different people. You have different opportunities. You should compare only you with yourself, yes? In the past and in the future. And if you have a great results, yeah, maybe something good, even not great, why not? So our ideas are how fall, yes, from the basket. Okay, you should be better. The next one, avoid negativity. Of course, positive attitude is the most important thing. If you give positive emotions to somebody, these emotions will come to you. It's like space power. What you give, and you will get it. And make peace with your past. Of course, all of us has some experience. You should think, analyze it, but go further, yes, to the future. We hope it will be a happy future, yeah? Then, take care of your body and mind. By this rule, I understand the balance between everything, not only between my body and mind, but also between your duties at home, your hobbies, free time, etc. So if everything is in balance, you will be happy. Don't try to do one, for example, only studies. In such case, you will not be somehow happy because you should be happy in different spheres of it. And from our last lesson, we gave some information about modal verbs. It was must, semi-modals, have to, has to, etc. So now you know some information about this. For example, must is what? Our inner voice, yes? For example, I must learn English because you think that it will be good for your career. It's your own voice inside of you. But if we tell, for example, I have to, it means that somebody gives you such attitude. Yeah, for example, your mother said you have to learn English because it's really interesting. It's important for you. Or I will not allow you to go with your friends. Yeah, and that's why you have influence. But today's topic will be connected with also somehow spoken language. So here you can see have or has got to. It's the same as have to, has to, but we use it in what? Spoken, colloquial, yeah, language. It means you can use this model verb in what situation? With your family members, with your friends, with close people to you. And just look at the examples. You have got to help me out here. You have got to do our bit, etc. So hope now you understand something, and we can just turn to another stage of our lesson. It's connected with practical. Please, again, look at your handouts. Here you can find reading task. So reading task is small passages, small text, rules for life from different famous people. You should work with your partner, so it will be fair work. For example, maybe spend work with microphone, or you can change if you want your seat place, it doesn't matter. And you should enumerate these ideas according to your pair. For example, maybe Vignush and Karsina will think that A is the most important one. But Korizoda and, for example, Jasmina, yes, Jasmina, they will think that it's not so important, and for their pair, H will be the most important. And somehow you should describe your idea. So now let's look through it, read it, you have time, and then we will start. Now please work with the text, read it, with your partner. And please be very attentive because our next task, listening, will be connected with this text. That's why read it just and understand the whole idea because then if we have listening task, you will further, yes? Practice further. So what do you think? Are you ready? Or should I give you additional time? Okay? Okay. So I think first of all we should understand what is the text about. Will you be so kind and read, yes, passages in order everyone to understand what we are speaking, yes, about?
Yes. All of these passages about rules of life and important stages of life that everybody is exposed to in their life. So A says that you mustn't make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. It means that you have to think about any kind of thing before doing it. And B, you need to learn to be happy with yourself. There is no one else you will have to spend more time with. As you mentioned earlier, you have to be positive and avoid negativity. And C, you can't just keep moaning about not winning life's lottery. You need to buy the ticket. It means that you have to take the action itself before just complaining about not winning anything. So next one is you must remember that what other people think of you is none of your business. It means that you don't consider other people's opinion about yourself. You have to pay attention only your inner voice.
Yes, somehow it's difficult, yeah, to understand. For example, maybe they don't like you, etc. But if you will take everything, it will be difficult, yeah, for yourself.
Because people are continuing to judge you and you don't care it. So the further away the remote control is, the more you will like what's on TV. That means that you have to take the action rather than just sitting in the one place.
Yes, and it's like desire. If you don't have anything or something, yeah, you want this with more, yes, pleasure, with more power.
It means you have to take an action.
Yeah.
And F, you have got to dance like no one is watching, love like you are never depart, sing like no one is listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. In short, it means that enjoy your life.
Yes, enjoy your life.
Yes, it's better to have questions you can answer than answers you can question. That means you have to try to see the meaning of life, and you have to find essence of everything around you. And next one is life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. It means that you have to learn from the past, but you have to move forward. Only thinking about the future and positive things. And next one is life can only be understood backward. Next one, you should just accept that some days you are the peasant and some days you are the stager. That means that in life there are different kinds of situations and you have to be ready for any kind of thing. It means that there are ups and downs in life and you have to be ready for any kind of situation. That's all.
Oh, thank you. It was really great. Yes. So now we understand what are the ideas about, yeah? And I think we will listen to one prayer that would be Nigina and Dinoza, yes? Are you ready? So let it be you.
We have sorted the rules in this order. The first F, the second A, the third D, the fourth B, the fifth C, the sixth G, the seventh E, and the eighth H, and the ninth I.
Yes. Okay. Interesting order.
I believe that rule F is important for our team. This is motivational saying that encourages your life freely, authentically, and without fear of judgment. The second phrase means don't let a temporary dictated decision with lasting consequences. The third phrase is powerful reminder to focus your own actions and character.
That's great. Thank you again, Joe. And now I think it's okay. Yes, we understood your ideas, how to understand this rules for life, and we can change to another. Exercise is connected with listening. So you will listen one recording. Several people will speak about different rules for their life somehow. Yeah, it's also connected. The first is given to you, LAF. So it means that you should look through the text. Yes, you have already mentioned all the ideas and understand for them, for Amanda, for Mark, their rules for life. So now I will put recording. Please be attentive because it will be one time, and then the next time with the next task we will put it for another time. So now please prepare again your handouts. You can see them. And now I will put recording myself.
5.4 Rules for Life. 1. Ellie.
Oh, I think about it every time I'm on the dance floor. It's definitely the best way to have a good time. Well, other people aren't really paying attention to how I'm dancing, are they? They're all worrying about how well they're dancing. Now, the bit about loving, that's easier said than done. It's a lovely idea, but unfortunately human beings do have a very long memory for being hurt. And the singing bit, I can do that, no problem. In the shower. I know my family can hear me singing, but they never complain. Probably because they're even worse singers than I am.
2. Dylan.
It makes me smile, that quote. I'd heard it before, actually, as a joke, about this man, Michael. He's very religious, but he's always moaning while he's praying to God and complaining that his prayers are never answered. He keeps saying, look, God, you don't have to answer all my prayers, but how about just this one thing? I mean, it happens to someone every week, so why can't it be me? After years of this, God finally loses his patience and speaks to the man. Michael, you've got to help me out here. Just buy a ticket, will you? It's good because it shows that when we moan about our lives and say we're fed up with the way things are, we can't just sit and wait for new opportunities to come to us. We've got to do our bit too.
3. Amanda.
Oh, I know that one. It's a quote from Kierkegaard, the philosopher. I kind of hate it actually, because it's one of the things I find most difficult about life. I mean, you learn lessons from what you've done wrong, but you can't go back and do it again and do it better. So yes, as he says, we have to live life forwards, but I'm sorry, sometimes I can't help desperately wishing I could go back and do something again and get it all right.
4. Mark.
Both of these quotes really made me laugh. That one's actually true. If I see that the remote is on the other armchair, I will sometimes stay with the program longer. And I might then change my mind about switching over. And it says something about modern life. The amount of choice we have, and how easy it is to keep switching from one thing to another. I'm just ancient enough to remember when there were only 3 or 4 TV channels, and you had to walk over to the TV to change them. So you didn't very often. And the internet doesn't help. Oh, I'm bored with this article. Click. Here's something else. I'm getting bored again. Click. I think this other quote is my favourite though. It's hilarious. Things do seem to go a certain way on different days, don't they? And I'm certainly having a statue day today.
So I think that's all, yeah, with this improving. Now we understand, yes, some passages. Please, now you have 1 minute to look through the text again to understand what is the right answer, and then we will check it together, yeah? So the first example is given to you. Let it be the second one. Okay. Maybe Marjona, yes?
Answer C.
Mm-hmm.
You can just keep in mind about not when you like this grocery, you need to buy the ticket.
Yes, you're right. So the next one. The third one, let it be Mukhlisa. You will.
The third amendment answer H. But can only be understood backwards, but it must be read forward.
So maybe Wisola, please.
There are 2 correct answers for Mark, E and I. The further away the remote control is, the more your light watches on TV. And you should just accept that some days you are the eager and some days you are understanding.
Yes, that's right question. Now, please be attentive. I will put this recording one more time, but during this recording, you should somehow find specific information connected with questions. So look at your handout, and here you can see these questions. Handout number 4, yes? Listen again and answer the questions. So there are only 8 questions, but be accurate. So now I will put recording one more time.
5.4. Rules for life. 1. Ellie.
Oh, I love this quote so much. I think about it every time I'm on the dance floor. It's definitely the best way to have a good time. Well, other people aren't really paying attention to how I'm dancing, are they? They're all worrying about how well they're dancing. Now, the bit about loving, that's easier said than done. It's a lovely idea, but unfortunately human beings do have a very long memory for being hurt. And the singing bit, I can do that, no problem, in the shower. I know my family can hear me singing, but they never complain, probably because they're even worse singers than I am.
2. Dan.
It makes me smile, that quote. I'd heard it before, actually, as a joke, about this man, Michael. He's very religious, but he's always moaning while he's praying to God and complaining that his prayers are never answered. He keeps saying, "Look, God, you don't have to answer all my prayers, but how about just this one thing? I mean, it happens to someone every week, so why can't it be me?" After years of this, God finally loses his patience and speaks to the man. "Michael, you've got to help me out here. Just buy a ticket, will you?" It's good because it shows that when we moan about our lives and say we're fed up with the way things are, we can't just sit and wait for new opportunities to come to us. We've got to do our bit too.
3. Amanda.
Oh, I know that one. It's a quote from Kierkegaard, the philosopher. I kind of hate it actually, because it's one of the things I find most difficult about life. I mean, you learn lessons from what you've done wrong, but you can't go back and do it again and do it better. So yes, as he says, we have to live life forwards, but I'm sorry, sometimes I can't help desperately wishing I could go back and do something again and get it all right.
4. Mark.
Both of these quotes really make me laugh. That one's actually true. If I see that the remote is on the other armchair, I will sometimes stay with the program longer. And I might then change my mind about switching over. And it says something about modern life. The amount of choice we have, and how easy it is to keep switching from one thing to another. I'm just ancient enough to remember when there were only 3 or 4 TV channels, and you had to walk over to the TV to change them. So you didn't very often. And the internet doesn't help. "Oh, I'm bored with this article." Click. "Here's something else." I'm getting bored again." Click. I think this other quote is my favourite though. It's hilarious. Things do seem to go a certain way on different days, don't they? And I'm certainly having a statue day today.
So that's all. Now I give you 2 minutes in order to read the question. Yeah, it's maybe you may make some notes on these sheets of paper, yeah, in order to help yourself, but be accurate, yeah. So ready? Let it be Шапкатова Назима. So Шапкатова Назима, please read the question.
Why does she see other people on the dance floor aren't interested in how she's dancing? Because they are worried about how they are dancing.
Yeah, that's right. So me, please the next.
Who doesn't she need? Her table don't complain about her swing. Answer that because they are both similar she's.
So Abdiakatov ignored.
What does Michael, the man in Dan's story, keep asking God? Why it's funny. Michael keeps asking God if he can win the lottery one week. It's funny because he has never bought a lottery ticket.
Thank you for your answers. The next one, Akrorova Aziza.
What does Dan think we should do when we want something? He thinks we should do our bit too, and then we shouldn't sit around and wait for opportunities to come to us.
Yeah. So the next one, Dolores.
Why doesn't Amanda like that water from kindergarten? Because it's one of the things she finds most difficult about life.
That's right. Let it be Kuralai.
And question number 6, what would she like to be able to do? That she would like to be able to go back and do something again.
Singing.
Tell us how much choice we have and how easy it is
to try one thing to another. Yeah.
And the last question, let us be introducing everyone. Okay.
What kind of day is Mark having? He's having a statutory day.
So that's all about our questions and listening class. And now I want to somehow share with you one video. So we have different thinking about rules for life. As we understood from your ideas, everyone is how to this individual, yes, opportunity. And 12 rules for life was presented by one person. He's a good psychologist and a good specialist scientist in his sphere. That's why he decided to prepare 12 rules that are really general ones for most people. So now we will watch this video, but be accurate. You should listen attentively because after this video we will have writing task. Your writing task will be connected with plot, yes, brief summary of these rules. So please don't write a lot of information. I don't need the whole essay connected with all information in the video. It may be maybe 3, 4, 5 questions, 5 sentences, but they should somehow describe the most important facts, yes, from the video, the most important information. How do you understand? Of course, now we will have no opportunity to watch the whole video because it lasts for many minutes, but we can, maybe 5 or 6 rules will be enough for us. That's why now we will watch it. I think it will be interesting for you.
These rules aren't injunctions designed to make your life easier. They're actually injunctions designed to make your life more difficult. What I've done with these rules is they're very simple rules, and they're kind of long, tongue-in-cheek in some ways, but what I've tried to do is pull them apart and show what's underneath them and to go down as deep as I possibly can. The first rule, which is kind of a comical rule, is stand up straight with your shoulders back. And it's a meditation, among other things, on the habits of lobsters. I read some papers on lobsters. I came across this finding that lobsters govern their postural flexion with serotonin. And I thought, God, that's so interesting. And so the flexion is this, is to stand up straight. Wow, that's so interesting because, depressed people crouch over. So how to present yourself, because you want to present yourself to the world in a manner that it doesn't disgrace you in some sense. That might be a good way to think about it. And you don't want to disgrace yourself because the consequence of disgrace is emotional dysregulation, more pain, less positive emotion. And so the best way to present yourself is to stand up forthrightly and to stretch out, and to occupy some space. You make yourself sort of vulnerable by doing that because you open up the front of your body, right? But it's a sign of confidence. And that way people are most likely to give you the benefit of the doubt. And that's a good way to start regulating your mood. But not only does it directly regulate your mood to stand up, because posture reflection is associated with serotonin and emotional regulation, but also because if you straighten up and you present yourself in that manner, then other people are more likely to take you seriously. And that means they'll start treating you as if you're a number 1 lobster instead of a number 10 lobster. And that's another way that you can at least give yourself a bloody benefit of the doubt, right? And confront the world in a courageous manner. And that's a pretty good way of also figuring out how to establish yourself in multiple confidence hierarchies, because one of the general rules of thumb about how to be successful is to confront things that frighten you forthrightly and with courage. And that's kind of a universal strategy for success. And so that's what the first chapter is about. So that's quite fun. Rule number 2 is treat yourself like you're someone that you care about. See, I read this piece of work by Jung a long while back. It was a meditation on the injunction to treat your neighbor as you would like to be treated, something like that. And what Jung pointed out, which I really liked, was that wasn't an injunction to be nice to other people. It was an invitation to reciprocity. It was something like this. It's like, you should figure out how you would like to be treated, like you were taking care of yourself, not how you would like people to respond to you. So it's more important than that. It's like, imagine you had a child who you really cared for, and someone said, well, people will treat this child exactly like you want them to, but you have to figure out what that is. And so then you'd have to sit down for like a month and you think, okay, well, how do you want your child to be treated? You don't want everyone just to be nice to them, you want people to challenge him, and you want people to discipline him, and you want people to tell him when he's wrong. It's like, you don't just want everyone to be nice. That's pathetic. It's pathetic. There's no challenge in that. And so you want to treat other people like you would like to be treated, well, then you have to figure out how would you like to be treated. And what, you'd like people to fawn over you and just lay everything at your feet. It's like, no, that's not something you'd wish for someone that you were taking care of. Then there's an additional problem, which is it's often the case that people will treat other people better than they treat themselves. That happens extremely frequently. So one of the things I pointed out in chapter 2 was that if you have a dog and you take it to a vet, and the vet gives you the prescription medicine, you'll go buy the medicine and you give it to the dog and you'll do it properly. But if you go yourself to a doctor and you get a prescription, there's a 30% chance you won't even pick up the medication. And if you do, there's a 50% chance that you won't administer it to yourself properly. And so I really thought about that when I first came across that statistic. Really, it was another one of those little facts. I thought, what the hell is up with that? It's like, you'll do it for your dogs. Obviously, you'll do it for something you care about, and you're conscientious enough so you'll actually do it. So, like, why would you do it for you? Your dog likes you. You know, even your dog would rather that you did it. You don't. Why people don't like themselves very much. And I think there's two reasons, really. And one is that we're fragile and damageable and imperfect in multiple dimensions all the time, and that often just gets worse. It gets lots of things get worse as you get old, for example. So it's not necessarily that easy for a self-conscious being who's extraordinarily aware of his or her own fragility, but not just fragility, foolishness, and errors. Like, you know yourself better than anyone else knows you. And, you know, you might have a certain for someone you know because of something they did, but you know everything you did. It's a real existential question for people. It's like, why the hell should we take care of something as sorry and wretched as you are? And that's really what the chapter is about. It's because the answer in the chapter is, you know, you're, first of all, yes, you're pretty useless and terrible, but so is everyone else. And it's actually an existential problem, right? And what I mean by that, it's a problem that every human being has always had and always will. So it's not just you. It's a universal problem. And there's an answer to that. And one of them is to say, love the sinner but hate the sin. Something like that. Is that despite the fact that you're not all that you could be, the proper attitude to have towards yourself is the attitude that you would have towards someone that you genuinely cared for. And it's incumbent on you to act as if you genuinely care for yourself. Just like you would act towards someone that you actually care for, some other person. So it's a reversal in some sense of the golden rule, right? Well, you have a moral obligation to do that. It's not just that you should because it would be better for you. You actually have a moral obligation to do that, I think, because you make the world a much worse place if you don't take care of yourself. So you should let it go take care of yourself, you know, because it's partly because you have something valuable to bring into the world. You have a light that you have to bring into the world. And if you don't bring it into the world is a dimmer place. And that's a bad thing, because when the world is a dim place, it can be very, very, very dark. You need to take care of yourself because you're in the best position to do that. And it's necessary for you to take care of yourself. Despite the fact that we're mortal and vulnerable and self-conscious and capable, not only capable of doing terrible things, but actually do them. Despite all that, you still have that responsibility. And the next rule is make friends with people who want the best for you. And that's a meditation of my own childhood and adolescence to some degree. I had friends who wanted the best for me and friends who didn't. And, you know, they were friends who, some of them were aiming up and some of them were aiming down. If you have a friend that's aiming down and you do something that's aiming up, then they're generally not that happy about it. You know, they try to talk your accomplishment with one of their own, hypothetical or real, or put down what you're doing, or offer you a cigarette if you're trying to quit and you've kind of done that successfully, or a drink if you've been drinking too much and are trying to stop being an alcoholic, you know, or they're cynical and bitter and devoted towards no good. And sometimes that's family members too, and sometimes it's even part of you. But this chapter's injunction to people is like you have an ethical responsibility to take care of yourself, you have an ethical responsibility to surround yourself with people who have the courage and faith and wisdom to wish you well when you've done something good and to stop you when you're doing something destructive. And if your friends aren't like that, then they're not your friends. And maintaining your friendships with them might not even be in their interest. And so it's a tricky argument to make, because I'm not saying, you know, whenever anyone's in trouble, you should, you know, push them into a ditch and then give them a couple of kicks. That's not the idea. But I had a couple of rules I didn't write about. One was be careful about whom you share good news with, and another was be careful about whom you share bad news with. Those rules reign in people's minds quite quickly. A friend is someone you can share good news with, you know. You go to them and you say, look, this good thing happened to me. And they say, look, I'm so happy.
that happened to you. Like, wait a minute, and they don't think, God damn it, why didn't that happen to me? And like, you didn't deserve it. Here's a bunch of reasons you're stupid and why it didn't work. It's like, that's not helpful. Well, that's chapter 3. Number 4 is compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. And the reason I wrote that was because there is inequality. What that means is there's always going to be people around that are better at something than you are. That's a problem because you can get jealous, and you can get bitter, and you can get resentful, and worse, you can get hopeless. This friend of mine, he told me something so funny. He was decrying his lack of success in the world, and he compared himself to his roommate. And he said, his roommate, his college roommate, was doing much better than he was. His bloody roommate was Elon Musk. It's like, really? It's like, oh, you're not doing as well as Elon Musk. I mean, you can see it would take you rather personally that they were roommates and everything. It wasn't like he was doing badly. Like, he was doing pretty damn well. It's like, I don't know if it's Elon Musk. It's like, yeah, well, doing like 7 billion other people, But I thought it was instructive because you have to be careful who you compare yourself to. Now, you can't just not compare yourself to others, to successful people, right? Because then you don't have anything to aim at. You need an ideal because you have nothing to aim at, but an ideal is a judge. And you always fall short of the ideal. So how the hell can you have the benefits of having an ideal without having the crushing blow that goes along with having the judge that always regards you as insufficient? Let's say you need a goal, but we don't want to let your distance from the goal crush you. So you've got to set up a goal, and you've got to make the goal, break the goal down into parts so that you can move towards it. You have a fairly high likelihood of doing it. It's a practical knowledge about how to go about achieving an aim. Set a high aim, but differentiate it down so you know what the next step is. And then make the next step difficult enough so you have to push yourself past where you are, but also provide yourself with a reasonable probability of success. It's also what you do with children. You want to push them because they need to grow up and be more than they are, right? And you don't want to crush them with constant failure. So what you do is aim high and make the goal difficult but proximate. And one of the things I've noticed that around 30, you really have to start comparing yourself in some ways to other people. And the reason for that is that the particularities of your life are so idiosyncratic that there isn't anyone really all that much like you, because the details of your life happen to matter. And so maybe you compare yourself to some rock star or something like that, and the person's rich and famous and glamorous and all that, but they're alcoholic and they use too much cocaine, they've had 3 divorces, and it's like, how the hell do you make sense out of that? Is that someone that you should judge yourself harshly against or not? The answer is you don't know, because you don't know all the details of their lives. And who do you know that you can compare yourself to? That's easy. You, yesterday. So here's a good goal. It's something like, aim high. And I really mean that. It's like, we'll talk about that a little bit too. Aim high, but use as your control yourself. So your goal is to make today some tiny increment better than yesterday. And you can use better. You can find better yourself. This doesn't have to be some imposition of external morality. You know where you're weak and insufficient, where you can improve. Think, okay, well, this is what I liked yesterday. If I did this little thing, things would be just an increment better. And that's a great thing because you get the ball rolling, and incremental improvement is unstoppable. You can actually implement it, and it starts to generate Pareto distribution-like consequences. It starts to compound. Chapter 5, do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. You have a natural affinity for children, and even more, maybe a more powerful natural affinity for your own children. So that's a good start. But you don't want to set them up as an enemy against you. You don't want to allow them to engage in the kind of hierarchical challenge that makes you irritable and resentful. That's not a good idea. And if the things they do make you dislike them, the probability that they will make other people dislike them is extraordinarily high. And so you can consult your own irritability. And the thing is, if you're good to your kid in a real way, you can help them maintain that tremendous attractiveness that they have as young children. And to respond to adults properly, like a puppy that wags its tail instead of growls and goes for your ankle. And then wherever they do adults, welcome them and teach them things and pat them on the head and smile at them genuinely instead of saying, oh my God, here comes that couple with that goddamn brat again. Which is that's a horrible thing to do to a child. Because then everywhere they go, all the goodwill is false. There's nothing that you can do to someone that's more terrible than to put them in a world where all the goodwill directed towards them is false. That's a terrible thing. Rule 6 is put your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. And that's not take no action for others until you have your action.
Of course, I will share this video with you because I think it will be great for you to see, yes, to watch it. But now we have tasks, yes, writing tasks. So please take these questions of paper, you all have this, and write your ideas about rules of life. Brief thoughts, just several sentences, 3 or 4, it depends on you and your ideas. So are you ready?
Yes.
Yes? Great. Really great idea. So let's begin. Do you want to share with us what is the first
Yes,
reason?
I have written about the importance of first rule of Peterson. The first rule of Peterson states that it's important to stand upright with your shoulders back. It means that you have to be physically healthy, resilient, and confident. This means that such behavior not only helps to cope with a worse lifestyle, but also it increases self-respect and trust.
What about the second rule? Mukisa, do you want to share with us the second rule?
Rule number 2.
Make friends with people who want the best for you. Peterson's second rule is related to the importance of choosing friends. He argues that people should surround themselves only with those who inspire them to be better. Furthermore, Peterson encourages people not to limit themselves to only friends who share our views, to engage with people who think differently.
Yeah, because friends they are very important, yes, element of our life. That's right. So, Taxina, please share with us third rule.
Yes. The third rule of 12 rules for life says that it is important to be honest with oneself. Peterson argues that if we lie to ourselves, it can lead to problems and failures in life. Therefore, it's important to honestly look at one's strengths and weaknesses, admit one's mistakes, and try to improve oneself.
Yeah, great. So, Taxina, please.
Rule number 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Peterson's fourth rule is related to the fact that a person should only compare themselves to who they were yesterday, and not to other people. Peterson argues the comparison with other people can lead to envy and discontent, which does not contribute to personal growth and development.
And do you want to hear that this last?
The rule of the five rules is don't let your children to do that anything to distract them for you. Okay, Peterson fifth life is related to childhood and spiritual health. He argues that parents and adults should respect and don't deny the the feelings and emotions of the children. He encourages parents not to pressure on child's soul and not deny their feelings, but rather to help children express their emotions and develop their spiritual health.
Yeah, thank you. Then, of course, I will collect all your works because I want to share your ideas with another group. Also, it will be interesting for them to see your results. And also, I want to give my comments to your work because it's a written task, and that's why I should write also, yeah? Maybe some mistake, etc. It doesn't matter, but then we will do it. But now I also want you to work in a group work, yeah? It will be interesting to you. I know that usually you like such kind of group works. So now you will understand what it will be. So, rules for life. In your handouts, if I'm not mistaken, it's handout number 5. Yes, you can look at this handout. So here you can find some information about different rules. So there are only 4 rules, and we will differentiate you into 4 groups. Yeah. So listen attentively. Who will work with whom? Okay. So let's look through your list of students to understand. So the first group, a friend complete your homework. So it will be Astorova Parizoda, Mihribon, Sarnikor, Evgeny Devon, okay, let it be you, and Akabirova Sivara. You will work with this problem. What should you do? First of all, you should write several rules. Yeah. So, Parizoda, if you will have questions, okay, then after the task itself, I will describe you. Yeah. So, you will write this little text, maybe by using white papers, maybe by yourself, it depends on you. And you should write 2 or 3 rules. Maybe you will use the information from the video, yeah, itself, etc. And then the situation itself. You can give your own example, yeah, to understand what to do in such kind of situation. So, the next group. So, according to list, let it be Akorova Aziza, Sharofova Aziza, Jamалединова Sevin, Hasanova Biknush, Jamilova Jasmina, and Jamshedova Taksina. If you need to take another place, of course, you can just take another place. And your situation, you accidentally broke a vase in a stove. So you should understand how to deal with this specific situation. Of course, try to be honest and give your own opinion. Yeah. So the next group: Visola, Kuralai, Nigina, Marjona, and Dinoza. I think that will be enough for this group. You were offered to participate participate in a risky event. So somehow interesting situation, yeah, risky event. But be accurate. Risk it somehow leads to different problems. So think a little bit before giving your own rules and decisions. So, and the last group, it will be Шавкатова Назима, Мелихова Назима, Садинова Динора, Мухлиса, Гульнур. Yeah, I think that's all, yeah. And you saw someone bullying a younger person. So, what does it mean, younger person? So, maybe children, I don't know, maybe someone else. And you should understand how to react. Yes, be accurate. The situation, they are different somehow. And you should work in groups. Please share your ideas with your group mates. Sit in any useful position. Don't worry, it's just your group work. You can stand, you can just go to somebody if you need. Yeah? So, and I will give you time in order to be prepared. Then you will come here to the blackboard and present your rules and situations. And before the yes, you want to ask, but you can ask me now. You should do this, yeah, in this situation. We are ready. So ready, but wait a little bit for other groups because they also need time. It's great that you are so fast today. Mhm. So 1 minute, and I think they also will be ready with this. Mhm. Yeah. So, okay, now I think most of participants are ready. So we will start from the first situation. Yeah, let it be inside the hand, then. Yeah, from your notes.
Okay. Imagine situation, the first situation. A friend copied your homework. Talk to your friend privately. Explain that while you value your friendship, you can't condone academic dishonesty. Say something like, I'm sorry, but I can't let you copy my homework. It's not fair to you on the teacher, and it's not the right thing to do. Yes, of course, yes, that's right. This maintains your integrity and provides an opportunity for your friend to learn.
Honesty and integrity above all else. This means prioritizing truthfulness and doing the right thing, even when it's difficult.
Take responsibility for your actions. Acknowledge the consequences of your choices both positive and negative, and act accordingly. Treat others with respect and sensitivity. Consider how your actions affect others and strive to begin and understand.
Remember that your friends might be struggling. While you can't let them copy, offer to help them understand the material say I can give you the answers, but I am happy to study with you and help you understand the concept.
Thanks. Christina, your group, yeah? So present the situation and decision, yeah?
So our situation is that you accidentally broke a vase in a store, and we have some rules
Yes.
about situation.
That your conceit, your guide, choose a pass or choose and given when it's charming. Our your choices and their consequences not our bet.
Rule 3. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Practice kindness and understanding.
Immediately inform a store employee. Explain what happened and offer to pay for the damage. Say, I'm sorry, so sorry. I accidentally broke this vase. I would like to pay for it. Taking responsibility demonstrates honesty and respect.
The sense in your apology show that you understand the importance you have caused and this will help de-escalate the situation.
So thanks again. Interesting group and interesting situation. So the third group, yeah? I read the third group. Yes, it is. Oh, okay, let's start.
Situation 3. You were offered to participate in a risky event. Honestly assess the risks. If your gut tells you it's wrong, trust it's safe. Thank you for the offer, but I'm not comfortable participating in this. It doesn't align with my value. I don't feel safe. Don't be pursued into something against your better judgment.
Rule number 1. Always choose the right thing even when it's hard.
Yeah.
Rule number 2. Take ownership of the outcomes of your action, both positive and negative, and act accordingly.
And rule number 3, lead with compensation. Always consider how your actions affect those around you.
Consider the potential harm to yourself and others. Is this something that could negatively impact anyone involved?
Great. Thanks. So answer last one.
Rule number 1. Characters are inherently truthful and vulnerable in YouTube.
Rule number 2, accept the full impact of your words. Positive results should be celebrated and the consequences for negative impact must be faced.
Rule number 3. Be considerate and compassionate. Show others the respect they deserve.
Situation 4. You saw someone bullying a young person. Exit the situation quickly. If it's safe to do, intern and tell the bully to stop. If you can't intern directly, inform an adult, teacher or parent immediately. Say something like, hey, leave them alone, that's not cool, or I'm going to tell an adult about this. Honest reporting and willingness to stand up for someone who needs it's important.
Rule number 5. Putting yourself in the younger person's shoes. Think about how they might be feeling and how you can help them. Showing empathy is the first step in acting against bullying because they can be stressed or afraid of the situation.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Not only for the one group, but for all, because you are really active today, and I really like that you try to do your best, and somehow now we should go go to work, evaluation, yes, of your work. So, by analyzing your results, how you work in both, in pair work, in group work, individually, yes, with your listening, writing, speaking, etc. So, these results are not only by one task, but by the whole task. So, let's listen. Abdiakatova Dilnoza, excellent mark. Akabirova Sivara, satisfactory mark. Akrorova Aziza, good mark. Asrorova Perizoda, good mark. Jamshedova Taksina, excellent mark. Ibrahimova Mukisa, excellent mark. So, Hasanova Isola, excellent mark. Jaksilikova Kuralay, good mark. Jamilova Jasmina, good mark. Jamalidinova Sivinch, good mark. Pushpakova Marjona, also good mark. Melikova Nazima, satisfactory mark. Nuralieva Gulnur, excellent mark. Rasulova Zarnibor, good mark. Saidinova Dinora, good mark. So, Saidinova Niginapon, excellent mark. Sharovova Aziza, satisfactory mark. Shafkatova Nazima Bigima, excellent mark. Saliva Mihribon, satisfactory mark. Yes, Terentiev Evgeny, excellent mark. And Hasanova Biknush, excellent mark. So, these are your results. I hope that you somehow are good in such way. So, and also I wanted to make somehow you funny with your home task because today we worked really hard. That's why your home task will be videos. It will be presentation, but in the form of group work. You can choose some from your group mates or even friends may help you to just make this video. You can show in the video rules for your life. Yeah, nowadays you try to give to some specific situation just your own understanding of it, but think about your own experience. Yes, for rules for life, and maybe you will share with others. You may do it in any case, maybe with videos. For example, in funny way, create the situation and say, in such way I will do, and the rule for me will be in such way. Yeah. So it's your home task. Do you have questions?
Yes, I have a question. How many presentations you need to do?
It will be like video presentation. That's why it may last maybe 5, maybe 6 minutes. It depends on your choice, of course. But be accurate with time limit because you will need to give time to another participant. So if the whole video will be 10 minutes, it means you should differentiate, yes, time limit to everyone. So somehow think about this. But I think you will have enough time to do it. And conclusion of our lesson. So during this lesson, we try to provide listening, writing, reading, and speaking. And also we mentioned some information about grammar. So in your handouts, you can also find some information about further materials, books, grammar exercise. So you can do it yourself when you have free time. You can just look through them. And I think that's all for today. Thank you very much and goodbye. Thank you.